and its Bahamians aren't prepared to stand up and fight and defend their own Bahamas, then you don't deserve to have it.
Now let that sink in. Come on. Change ain't coming, change is here. You can hear it, you can feel it in the air. All politicians, put your hands in the air. Just a stick up, let me make myself clear. I'm a grown man talking, so you know what to do. No one's leaving till we figure out the truth. Why you laughing? This ain't nothing funny. So no one gets to go home till we figure out this money. Change ain't coming, change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, nigga, change is here. Now if you ain't standing with us, then I know you against us. Bahamas, this ain't no time for us to be lukewarm. This is war, and we riding through the storm. Come on. Let's go. Shalom to all my Hebrew brothers, to all my Muslim and Rastas, we need you, brother. Selassie, I know. I can't forget the Christians. Let's put our differences aside, cause it's a bigger mission. See, they've been doing this for years, trying to separate us, kinda trying to keep us down and never elevate us. Now it's time to praise the Lord, cause he's about to take us over to the promised land where we can celebrate us. I got to do it for my kids that ain't even born yet, so the minute that they born, they already gotta check that check. Gotta have that time to collect, so they won't know how it feels to have that yoke around their neck. Yeah. See, y'all been robbing my grandmother, my great-great-grandmother and grandfather. It's like y'all can't get enough. Y'all just keep eating and eating and giving us nothing but taxes. Y'all went even as far as to say that this country's in debt and we ain't got no money. But 9 times out of 10, everybody in this country's possibly a millionaire. It's time to wake up. Let's talk about natural resources, cause every time we bring it up, they say hold your horses. They say it ain't worth a thing, but it's worth a fortune. Meanwhile, they open up their businesses across the borders. Oh yes, we track their bank accounts across the waters. They say this country in debt, but they making millions. If we don't stop this now, they be up to billions. It's about to go down and I get the feeling we gotta cut a movie on these dirty villains. On this Lincoln Bain and his team came with information. It's like everything changed, everything went quiet. It's like so much facts and they can't deny it. They rather keep their mouths shut before they start a riot. Now look how they tryna just steal the oil. They don't wanna share with none of y'all. They've been robbing us while we were sleeping. Send them to jail cause they failed, they committed treason. Change ain't coming. They say change ain't coming. The change is here. They say change ain't coming. The change is here. They say change ain't coming. Nigga, change is here. Listen, from Freeport to Nassau all the way to Nagua, there's no more time for us to sit back and be quiet. You understand? This is war. If they only knew who we were, if they only know who we are, they would know we are warriors. No retreat, no surrender. Just give us what you owe us. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. I feel this all the way to my ancestors. We are warriors. We only really want what's owed to us. You get it? Now free up.
Open day at the Presidential Palace in Colombo. Local families making themselves at home, relaxing in beds, splashing in the pool, posing, even pumping iron at the residence, which just a day ago was reserved for the elite. The people have shown their power after storming the city and forcing out the President and Prime Minister over the handling of the economy, which has left the country bankrupt and unable to pay for essential imports.
For past 6 months, people were struggling in the queues. People are in the fuel queues, people are in the gas queues. But now people have hope.
Today, there are questions over the whereabouts of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa after he was seen boarding a ship and fleeing with his family. He's yet to address reports he'll resign this week. Protesters will hold firm until he does.
We don't trust him anymore, because he has already broken our trust, our country's trust, and he has already sold our country.
The country's Prime Minister has also agreed to step down. What the next government looks like remains unclear.
If violence is not contained, there is concern that this is going to deepen the crisis.
And the anger appears to be catching on as countries across the globe grapple with inflation. Protesters also staging demonstrations in Argentina and Albania over the soaring cost of living. Sophie Walsh, 9 News.
This statement is nothing to do with FNM or PLP or DNA or any party that might be out there. This has nothing to do with that. But everywhere I go, people are asking for change. This is not a political statement. People are tired. People are fed up. People want change. But what I want you guys to know is that many of you think that you're not worthy to bring the change. Many of you think that you gotta be special to bring the change. You gotta have some kind of degree. You know, you gotta have some kind of business or be from a wealthy family. Where has that brought us? Where has that brought you? Where has that brought this country? You are suffering. You could barely pay your bills. You're hurting. It's time for real change. And what you need to realize is whenever God is going to bring real change in this world, He never does it through the status quo, to the people who are actually in power. Think about this. If a man rises up in this system and becomes a doctor and then becomes Prime Minister of this country, why is he going to change that system that he came up in? Why would he change that system? It worked for him. So he wants the system to stay that way. And that is why nothing is really changing no matter how we go. Whenever God wants to bring real change in a society, He goes to nobodies. He goes to people that you would never suspect. Ever suspect. That's what He does. He finds a murderer like Moses or a murderer like Paul. Right? He finds nobodies. People who were nothing. When God came to this earth, look at how He came. Look at how humble He was in a manger. When He chose the people He was going to walk with and do His ministry with, He didn't go in the temples or in the synagogue to find people to walk with Him and find the most holy thou, who wears the fancy clothes and who has a degree. No, He went to some cussing fishermen. And it's them He decided to make change in this world with. That's what He does. And so let me tell you something. Change is coming. But it cannot come from the people that you all have been dependent on. Why? Because they're part of the system. They're the corrupt ones. We got to bring change. We need real people this time. And it could be anybody, you know. We need real people to bring real change. That's it.
You can never get me. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us.
Swooped in and now own the country because they invested so heavily in infrastructure. They now own the Chinese or the Bahamian government.
Look, who can admit it? This country's well-being and its best interest ain't safe in the hands of periodministers. Don't believe me? That's your business. This country ain't been in no better state from when Perry done started. We need to finish. You're so gullible, divided from this gold to the red. Like on some real wine, your people really dumb in the head. One come in, butch it up. Next one come, bend you over. Minutes use a lion, Robert, but I swear you bipolar. Tell the truth, this a Chinese turf, cause y'all done sell it. And scratching your head like why all these people lacking rebellious. The fight will never decrease. Ain't no peace on the streets, so middle finger to the police. FNM PLP, real. We came from way back.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you all. Thank you so much for tuning in on this day. It is July 12th. It is July 12th. It is a Tuesday in the capital that we call Nassau, the Bahamas. But we're broadcasting not only to Nassau, but we're broadcasting to the entire Bahamas and to the entire world. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for always being here with us. We have so much to talk about tonight. We have so much to talk about on this night to all of you. And thank you for tuning in. I just want to say a special welcome for those who are tuning in right now. Please like and share right away so that the algorithm, the Facebook algorithm, knows to share this broadcast. Please like and share right away, please, so that so that we can get this message out. We know that the media does not want the truth out. We know that. We've experienced that.
And so we have to do what we have to do to get the message out. And so we need you to do your civic duty, your Bahamian duty, to make sure that we get the word out. All right. So thank you to all of you who have been doing what you can to make sure that we get the word out. God bless all of you. God bless all of you. Thank you so much. Just want to welcome all of you who are here. I see that Tanya McKell is here. Thank you for being here tonight. Chanel Pinder is broadcasting with us. Good night to you, Deborah Raming. Welcome, Deborah Raming. Sonny Joseph says, I'll be voting for you. Thank you, Sonny Joseph. That means that for the first time, you'll be voting for yourself, for actual Bahamians, for Bahamians to benefit from their country, and for Bahamians to actually be in control of this country, because those are the ones who don't care. Lloyd Boleg is here. Brunel Ferguson, welcome to you. Thank you so much for being here, Brunel Ferguson. Who else? Yes, Stephen Seymour is here. Good night, Stephen Seymour. Good night to you, and welcome. It's so good to have you here. Jacqueline Williams is here. Thank you for tuning in from wherever you are. Michelle Archer is here. Michelle Archer. Tanel Taylor, good night to you. Kamal Marsh is here. Tamila, Nicole, Wallace, Forbes, all your government names. I ain't blame you. Let them know that you are representing all of your government names. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Patrick Fernanda is here. Patricia Roll is here. Kendall Marsh is, Kamal Marsh is from Freeport. Thank you for tuning in all the way from Freeport. Kunkale Kunkala says Freeport is in the house. Thank you for tuning in, Kunkale Kunkala. Aaron Boleg is here. Pedro Morris is here. There's Kessia, oh Lord, but Kessia McPhee, thank you for tuning in. Let me see who else is here. Jillian Bartlett, let's make more history. Oh yes, we are going to make more history. I hope you all are ready. I hope Bahamians are ready. Get ready, get ready. We are going to make history in this little nation we call the Bahamas. Dawn Gibson is here. Brenda Ferguson is here. I see Samuel Raming. Sunshine Russell, welcome. Said it was waiting patiently. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tino Russell, Kevin Smith, good night to you. Rod Turnquest is here. Thank you so much from wherever you are. Jenna Majors watching from Freeport. Welcome, Freeport. You know we love you in Freeport. Long Island is watching. Kevin Smith. We're getting so much calls from Long Island lately. From Long Island, persons in Long Island. Thank you for tuning in. Kesha Salesman, good night to you. LaShawn Fox, hello and welcome. Queen of Ferguson says, good luck, Mr. President. Thank you so much. Good luck to the Bahamas. LGL Marine is watching from Freeport. Thank you so much. You're watching from Freeport as well. Thank you, Freeport. Freeport needs change more than any other place in this country. Freeport has so much potential, and it's been wasting for the last 2 decades, and we got to fix that. We got to fix Freeport, and we're going to fix the Bahamas by fixing Freeport. Apostle Agnes Glinton is there. Marva McKinney is here. Good evening to you. Patrick Short says, drop it like it's hot. No, we always do. LaSasha Russell is here. Thank you. Glenn Davis is watching. Good evening to you. Kelda Gibson, Trevia Bain, and I need to do a couple more. LaShawn Fox, Renell Ferguson. We said that already. Javante Taylor is watching. Thank you for watching. Who's got? Valentino Burrows is watching. Can't get to any more. One more. Artemis Gardner. Artemis Gardner is watching. All right. Thank you so much. Say, I'm in, this is Linda Claire. Say, I'm in Nassau. Why they have them keeping their mouth closed? Because they have no rights to open their mouth, and no one wants to hear from them right now. I don't think anyone wants to hear from the FNM, so I think it's better if they just keep their mouth closed. All right? I think it's better for the Bahamas that way. They have no credibility, and so they need to keep their mouth closed right about now. So thank you for that question. Yeah, thank you for that question. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a special day for me because today is July 12th, and this is actually the birthday of my one and only father. His name is Henry Bain. He's the son of Michael Bain, son of Charles, son of William. And Henry Bain is the person who taught me much of what I know, almost everything I know. He taught me to be strong. He taught me that nothing is impossible. He taught me that nothing is impossible. He was crippled, yet still he was a captain of a mailboat. He made no excuses. He made no excuses in this life. And some people say, Lincoln, you like to do things that are impossible. You like to take on hard challenges. You like to swing for the home runs. Why don't you just do some just simple stuff? You do all these, amazing stuff. And I learned it from my father, who was crippled, could not walk, and was the captain of a mailboat. And so I had to be around him. I had to watch him as he made no excuses. Many who were in his condition were on street corners. They were on street corners and they were begging. They were begging at the lights. He could never find himself to want to beg anyone for anything. He educated himself. He had to come out of school at the age of, I think it was 11, and grade 6 was as high as you could go in his day in the Bahamas. It was as high as you could go in this country. And he had to educate himself. And he left me one thing. He didn't have money or land or anything to leave me. You know what he left me? A whole library of books, literally, because that's what we did. That's what I did, spending my time with my dad. 7, 8 years old, I'd read the whole volume, all of the volumes of the Collier's Encyclopedia, all 23 volumes. There was 24, but the 24th one was just the index, the appendix. And I had to read them because we always debated about everything in this world. And many of you should think about doing that with your children, educating them from they're young, don't leave it just up to the responsibility of the government or the school. That's what my dad did with me. It's like he was preparing me for something. And I remember one summer, because we would always debate when we got together, we'd always debate about anything, about World War II, about boxing, about sports, about religion, about anything, science, about space travel, about everything. He educated himself. And so when we got together, we would start to debate and I would have to know stuff. So one summer I decided to sit down and read all of the volumes of the Collier's Encyclopedia. Remember when they used the black encyclopedias? They used to go around selling them. And I could tell you everything that was in that encyclopedia by memory. My siblings would sometimes test me. I could tell you which book to go to see the dogs, which is book number 8. I could tell you which book to go to if you want to know about flags, and that's book number 14. Anything you wanted to know in those encyclopedias, you didn't have to go to encyclopedias. Come to Little Lincoln. I was in primary school and high school back then. But it was my dad who taught me that education is not the responsibility of the government. Education is your responsibility. And he learned more on his own than he could have ever learned from school. And he never made excuses. And I just want to thank my dad for teaching me to be fearless, teaching me to educate myself, teaching me to never make excuses no matter what's going on. That you can make it. No matter what's going on around you, you can do it. And so I just want to say a special happy birthday to my dad, Henry Alexander Bain. Thank you so much for making me the man that I am. Yes, crippled, and found a way to pay for my private school education. That's a dad. So God bless all of you and everyone else who is celebrating a birthday this week. All of you are celebrating the rest of your birthday. I see somebody else saying it's Kunkalay's birthday. Kunkalay, is it your birthday? If it's your birthday, you're born on my dad's birthday. But I just want to say happy birthday to you if this is your birthday, Kunkalay. Thank you for being here with me. And thank you for doing what you do for this country, Kunkalay. And God bless you. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, oh wow, I don't even know where to start today. We got so much to talk about. We'll get straight to it. I just want to congratulate the people of Sri Lanka, who again gave the rest of the world an education on international law and conventions. When the people stand up, the government must stand down. I've been teaching this over and over. There's always instances of this all around the world. The Arab Spring, all across South America, all over the world, this has been happening. The government represents the people. So whenever the people say that they don't want the government anymore, the government has lost their mandate. And it doesn't have to be the majority. The majority speaks in an election. Outside of election, a minority can speak. A minority can fill the squares and get rid of their government. Once they go in the square and say the government has to go, the government must go. The government will first push back to force you to show that you are serious. And once the government decides to push back, then once you stand up, the government has to go. So the phone is ringing, just gotta fix that. And so, Bahamians, people always ask me, how can you get rid of the government now? How can you get rid of the government? That's very, very easy. You get rid of the government by standing up. Demonstrating means to demonstrate the views of the people. That's what a demonstration means. It's a demonstration of the views of the people. If you demonstrate that you want the government gone, they must go. It's simple as that. Now, if you go out and demonstrate and say, you know, we don't want to privatize BTC, then as you see happened with England, he had to stand down. But if you go out and say the government must go, they have to stand down. That is how it works. And so as soon as the people catch on to this, we're going to have honest government, and we're going to have a government where the people rule. It's simple as that. But until then, I guess we're going to have to come and put some things in place. All right. So I just wanted to just congratulate those people. I mean, I was so proud of them, the way they stood up. I was so proud of them. And so one day Bahamians would have the courage to forget partisan politics and think about the Bahamas, think about the country, think about our people. But right now they have us divided by partisan politics, because whoever government is in power, they just support whatever they do no matter what. And that is wrong. And that is actually evil. Their government can do no wrong. There has to come a point where Bahamians stand up and just be Bahamian. And so I want to start off today by talking about what transpired recently. Again, you'll remember that we've been telling you about what has been transpiring on the Crown land, and the government has been that government has come in. After a while, the government came in and they started taking action, but a lot of people didn't understand why the government was taking action, and the government tried to paint this idea that they were coming in because they care about the trees. Now, to sensible, right-thinking Bahamians, it made zero sense that they were coming in to take care of the trees, because why weren't you worried about the trees before? Obviously, it's not about the trees, because they cut down all around this area, including in Carmichael Village and across the street. There's our homes across the street from it. They have a proposal that the government is pushing for 900 acres of a new development right there. So they weren't worried about the trees. And people were trying to figure out, why is the government harassing Bahamians and not touching the 43 shanty towns all around it, right across the street? Why are the government coming and harassing these Bahamians? It can't be the trees, because you didn't complain when they cut down the trees for these 43 shanty towns from on Cowpen Road, from Faith Avenue to Bacardi Road. It can't be the trees. So what was this really about? And there's one thing with the truth: you can only suppress it for so long. That's the one thing I love about the truth. You can only suppress it for so long. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we told you that the real issue in the area where we are is not because we are there or anything that we did when we got there. Did you notice, have you noticed that there has been not one forest fire in the Golden Isles, Coral Harbor area, in the Wellfield area since we got rid of those persons, those illegal immigrants who were burning? Have you noticed that? Not one fire. Remember, Coral Harbor residents, how you used to wake up to smoke and smog, etc., etc.? Have you noticed that the air in that area is now clean? Did you notice? And it's because we stopped those persons who were doing that. The government didn't stop them. We stopped them. Have you noticed that for months now, since we started catching them red-handed and outing their fires and frustrating them, that there's been no more forest fires in that area? Bahamas, did you notice? You see, don't mind what they say, you know. Watch what's really going on. And since we stopped the forest fires, the government started coming after us. And so there were two factions operating in the back there. There was a Progressive Liberal Party Generals faction that has been there for quite some time that were clearing down trees, and they partnered with the Haitians, and they were burning for coal, etc. And then there was the Haitian faction that was in the back there burning and cutting down trees. And for a very long time, and if you come in the back there, you'll notice that many of the trees are young pine trees because they're growing back. They have already been cut down, etc. Because that's what's been going down there for a long time. And so some campaign generals of Vaughn Miller and Wayne Munroe were promised properties in the back there. And they were promised that they would get this after election. But lo and behold, some regular Bahamians decided to come and possess the land. Regular Bahamians decided to come and possess the land. And we got in their way. And so they initially approached a group of persons and said, listen, we are Warren Miller's campaign general, and Warren Miller promised us this, and you all have to get off this. And those people, some of them were PLPs, were very concerned, and they called us in and said, listen, we'll feel more safer if you and Maria are in the back here. Because our own PLP and these PLP generals, they seem to be working against us. Like we Bahamians, like why they want to, do this to us. And so they threatened us, and we want you in the back here. And that's how I got there. All right. Now, to be honest with you, I was actually in the back there before they called me, but they didn't know that some other persons had called me in the back there. Just to put that out there. Now, we got in their way. And then they put out a video saying, oh, Bahamas, look what's in the back here. The person who put out that video was Vaughn Miller's campaign general, right? And he put that video out. We were operating very quietly, very stealthily. We weren't letting people know what we were doing. I never talk my personal business to the world. You'll never see me on here promoting my personal stuff, all right? I don't do that. We were in the back there very quiet. The campaign general started to expose what we were doing. At that point, we realized it made more sense to keep this in the public eye because it would stop them from victimizing us. Or if they victimize us, the whole Bahamas would be able to see. All right, and that's why we decided to start letting people see exactly what was going on. Now, we had some interactions with some Haitians. You know the whole story. They came, they were collecting wood, we stopped them. They tried to put up a gate to block us. And that's where they had possessed land, and we stopped them. And after that, the government came in. It's like they called and said, "Hey, these Bahamians getting in our way. We got to stop them." And so there were campaign generals back there. Two of them were campaign generals of Wayne Munroe, and these campaign generals had said, and we heard it, that what's going to happen is they're going to bring in their boss. And their boss is going to shut everything down. And once everything is shut down, then they could come back and continue once they get rid of the others. So that's me and the other regular Bahamians, including some PLPs and FNMs. So once they get rid of us, then they'll be able to come back. And so you can see the heavy-handedness. You can see almost like a personal interest in this. And so one thing they did, they recently put out a video, audio recording these campaign generals are Ruby Sanders and Dominique Bowe, the campaign generals of Wayne Munroe. All right. Ruby Sanders is the assistant pastor to Adrian Francis. That's the pastor with the pictures the other day. All right, just for context. All right, that's who that is. All right, but Dominique Bowe and Ruby Sanders are the campaign generals, and that's Dominique Bowe there. You've seen that picture before, and you see it says Free Bowe presents Team Munroe Bowe, PLP Strong, Bonnie and Clyde. Nobody move, nobody get hurt. So in other words, she's showing you how powerful she is with her man, that man right there. All right. And so they put out a video, and in that video they put out a recording, and in that recording you could hear me talking about a transaction with Ruby Sanders. And that's because they felt these ladies felt they had 50 acres each in the back there, and they were dealing with 1 or 2 acres where other persons had possessed, and they felt it belongs to them, and they wanted those persons to get off. And so I was mediating between the persons, because they call me for everything. They feel I'm a leader, persons trust me. And so I was mediating. People always get me in when they're dealing with stuff. And so I told her, listen, okay, you all was here, you all campaign generals, and I said, you're a pastor. I don't want to get in no mix with no pastor. I said, just give them the money that they've spent so far on what they've done, and then you all exchange, and that's it. And you could hear it on the recording. That's what I said. All right, just reimburse them and then move on. And I said, you're a pastor. Come on, just do that and we'll move on. That's the peaceful thing to do. And that's all I was saying in that video, in that recording. But there's a certain part of the recording where you could hear Dominique talking to another person, and you can hear what she said. And basically she was saying what the whole plan was: get rid of these others, and then we'll come back and continue doing what we have to do. I want you to listen to this very carefully and watch this. This is the corruption in the Bahamas that we need to end now.
What I really do? Take everything and squander it like how they squander it. I done said I come to that conclusion a long time. Die down. I'm going to do it. Stop everybody. What are you saying? Nick? What? You say downtown is going to lie. I mean, what do you say? What about that? Shut down the whole thing, man. Nobody's giving me back here. You know what I mean, Mickey? I forgot the whole thing now. And once the thing shut down, and we can see come back. You understand? I forgot one. For 2 days. Stay a week.
Okay, again, that's him live posting a sign that's basically calling this a forest. I think that would be deception on the part of the government, and that's their instructions. And it's signed by Philip Brave Davis. Hey bro, I have one question. One question, bro. One question. There's an area y'all drove past down there. That's the area where all the PLP generals are. Why y'all skip that part? Y'all didn't put up no signs there. No answer on that? Like we just drove past it. And y'all didn't put up no signs there. Is it because they PLP generals? No answer? See the other fella in the red shirt, he like hey bro? Hey brother, I asked you a question. This video. I don't know. Just a quick question. When y'all just drove past the area where all the PLP generals are, but y'all didn't put up no sign there. Any reason for that? Like, we just drove past it. Right there. Like, you ain't answer? Y'all run out of signs? No, because y'all pass it and come here. Oh my God. Y'all laughing. But the area y'all just passed, that's where all the PLP generals are. New day. Oh, it's a new day. That's what it say on the post. So the police said it's a new day, and the post says it's a new day, and they skipped. They ain't put no signs up on the new day where the PLP generals are. All right.
Yep, that's them. I don't know if they think that this is our grandfather generation. This is not. This is a new generation of a new kind of Bahamian. And I don't understand why Pharaoh keeps doing what he is doing. I guess God himself hardened his heart, or God is hardening their heart. Because every time they try to attack us, they get spanked themselves. The whole country is seeing how much they hate Bahamians. So for what appears to be a personal issue, where corruption is allowing you to give favor to your campaign generals to get rid of those who are getting in their way, you would use what is probably hundreds of thousands of the people's resources, hundreds of thousands of dollars of the people's resources to play this game, this heavy-handed game, bringing the whole military in the back. They're setting up a whole air-conditioned, what do you call it, tent with flat-screen TVs and projectors, etc. All these machine guns and all these man-hours, that's money. All these man-hours, hundreds of thousands worth of value was spent for corruption. That's it. All it was PLP generals. PLP generals. PLP generals wanted what we have. That's it. So in addition to what we showed you, I actually went out because I wanted you to see. I went out to show you that in the areas where the Haitians were and in the areas where the PLPs are, there was 0 signs put up. I want you to see this, because you know we don't just tell you stuff, we always show you. Watch this. So this is the area that I was telling them to be just driven past. They just drove past this. Look.
The area where the PLP campaign generals are, not only are there no signs, see that's the New Day post there and the New Day on that post. Man, they here working. Alright, this area where the New Day, where the PLP generals are. Someone here in the truck. Oh Lord. Yeah man, they doing their thing. No one's stopping them. Hey bro. Yeah man, morning. Yeah man, so they here uninterrupted. Alright. No signs anywhere. No signs. That's the area where the PLP generals are. No signs anywhere. The police didn't go in this area. The fella break off running when I asked him why he didn't go in this area. This is right literally next to that area. And so it's kind of shocking that with all this going on over here, they put up no signs. They didn't even come in this area. They literally turned around when they reached this area and then did a U-turn and drove straight past this. See here? No signs in this area. And this the area, man, they building even more up there. They got all the big sign, and that's where the foundation is for the triplex or duplex, whatever that is. But no signs have been posted in this area. And this is the area where the PLP generals are. This is gross discrimination. This is against every UN, every UN treaty that we have signed. This is against human rights. This is like ethnic cleansing. This is like the Hutsi and Tutus. This is like South Africa's apartheid. This is clear discrimination. The areas where the PLPs are in this area, they didn't touch. And the areas where the Haitians are in this area, they didn't touch. You heard me.
And so as you can see there, you can see a lot of cleared down area there that the PLP was cleared down, but they went out attacking us and saying, oh, Lincoln and cleared this and that and the next thing. And so, you know, people weren't falling for their lies. And so they had to keep coming up with more and more lies. But that area is, of course, where the PLP generals are. Something that's happening with the live, I see, is not showing how many people are on the live. My system is gone from 400 plus people to 47 people. So, you know, everyone is still there, but it's actually, that's where they're trying to tamper with the live. All right. So a lot of things freaky has been happening because the government has access to do certain things on Facebook. So don't let it despair you. Also, when you watch this in the recorded version, you'll see that the text don't show, the comments don't show. After maybe the first 10 seconds, they shouldn't. After that, the text don't show. They're attacking and trying to silence the truth and what is going on. So stay focused and keep going. So that's the PLP area. So I also wanted to show you the area where the Haitians were. You recognize that this is where they were putting up the gate, etc. And this is the area where they had burnt out. This is where they planted their peas, etc., etc. They since put up a little shack there. And we never bothered with them. We never removed them. We never treated them discriminately. And so here's the area. So we just wanted you to see with your own eyes. They were there putting up signs only in the area where they assume people associated with me or us are discriminately. And you saw, we talked to them and they were silent. Watch this.
So ladies and gentlemen, you might remember this entrance as the entrance where the Haitians were trying to put up a gate to prevent Bahamians from being able to access the Crown land, the Haitian nationals. And this is when the real problem started. It seems like the Haitian nationals called the government and told them to get rid of us because we were getting in the way of the money. All right. And that's from the coal mining, etc. All right. And I want you to notice that there have been no fires in this area for months. Remember, there were always fires in this area. There were always issues with fire and smoke that was bothering the people, etc. Since we have come in this area and we have stopped them from burning, there's been no fires, not one fire in this area. And we hope everyone in the Coral Harbor area and everyone in this area pays attention to that, because we've been stopping them. And so this is the gate. And this is also the gate that the defense force, the police, and the immigration came through when they were putting up signs in this area to state that no one should enter, clear, or do certain things in a forest. Now, this is not declared a forest according to the director of forestry, and so it's very deceptive for the government to put up such a sign. But in any event, here is the entrance they came through. Now, they came through this entrance and skipped over. Right at this entrance is the area that the Haitians have possessed and they've been using. Right here, all these peach trees that you see right here were planted by Haitian nationals. All right, these are the Haitians who were saying they were coming in the back here to take over this side, and we got in their way. They said they were going to use Haitians with Bahamian passports. They were going to use Haitians with Bahamian passports in order to claim this crown land. And so all this land right here, see, they've cleared it down a while back, a long time ago, before a long time ago, I can say. And they started planting peas trees, etc. No sign was put up in this area affecting them. They know exactly where the Haitians are, and this means that that Philip Brave Davis, I call his name because his name is on the document, that Philip Brave Davis is saying that only Haitian nationals and PLP generals will be allowed in this area. All right, that's what they're saying. So this area, all of this is where the Haitians have taken over. All of this area here, all of this area is where the Haitians took over, and they're still possessing this land. We didn't bother with them at all. All of this area here, see all the peas trees, etc. That you see, all this area they took over for quite some time. They're unlawfully in this area. You see the banana trees that they planted, etc. The banana trees they planted. So all of this area they possess and took over. See, they even got a little shack, a little building right there that they built. I showed you this before, but notice, no sign was put on that building. No nothing. 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 They didn't harass them at all. All right? Look at this. This is Crown land. It's right next to us. But this is Crown land. And they even built their little shack, their little shanty shack on it. And the government didn't touch them. So what Philip Brave Davis is saying is, only Haitians and PLP generals will be allowed.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we actually don't know if we are still live. It looks like this whole live was interfered with. We're just going to run some tests. I don't know if I'm live, so I'm still going to talk in the meantime. It's saying I'm live. It's saying I'm live, but we're not seeing any comments moving, and it's people are saying that they've been knocked off. I think that's what has happened. The page. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am honestly not sure. We have another device here. We're trying to see if we are live, and it's showing that the live has disappeared. You know what? I'm going to, because I can't see, I'm going to end this live and start a new live again. I'm going to end this live and start a new live again.